What would the impact of something like that be? And does it risk provoking Putin, which is exactly what President Biden and NATO are trying to avoid?
Well, I want to be clear that to the extent that any provocations have been made here in the last 4 weeks, they've come from the Kremlin. They've come from President Putin decide to invade an innocent country of 44 million people. So that is where the responsibility lies. But there's no question that the responses that we've seen from NATO, and they're in 3 buckets. I mean, one is the willingness to try to destroy the Russian economy, including freezing a majority of Russia's central bank assets, something you have never seen in history against any economy of scale. Number 2, providing the Ukrainian government with significant defensive capabilities so they can defend themselves and kill Russian invaders, and also intelligence on the disposition of Russian forces on the ground for the same reason. And then finally, all of the significant increases, the defense increases that we're seeing, the forward deployments in the Baltic states and Poland and Romania and Bulgaria, the amount of money that the Germans and others will be spending in addition on defense, all of this will be seen by Putin as acts of war to destroy his country. So yes, we've been talking about war in Ukraine. The reality is there is a much broader confrontation between Russia and NATO that Russia has precipitated, but they will not finish.
Lynn Bremer, we always appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much. And with that, I do want to send it over to my colleague in New York, Chris Jansing, who has the very latest on today's Supreme Court confirmation hearings. Hi there, Chris.
Hi there, Kristen. Thank you. Turning to Capitol Hill, this hearing for Ketanji Brown Jackson now in 6 hours, just resuming after a lunch break. This is a historic day for the U.S. Supreme Court, but in the words of Senator Pat Leahy, it's also a sad day for the U.S. Senate after contentious questioning from Senator Lindsey Graham. Now, a few themes have come up repeatedly through the morning. Jackson's sentencing record, court packing, and abortion.
No. Well, yeah, that's the slide.
No
right
one
before
suggests that a
needs and wants.
20-week-old fetus can live independently outside the mother's womb. Do they?
I don't know.
I mean, you need the child will need to be fed or sheltered and all the other essentials to sustain human life. So there's no suggestion that after 20 weeks that a child can live independently. Correct?
Senator, I'm not a biologist. I haven't studied this. I don't know.
I want to bring in NBC's Garrett Hake, who is on Capitol Hill, who's been following this all along. Garrett, I was looking at some folks who talked about the moment that Lindsey Graham repeatedly interrupted Ketanji Brown Jackson and said, you know, there was a reaction. You could hear a verbal reaction from people to what was happening. Tell us about the mood in that room and your headlines from the day so far today.
Yeah, you could hear some rumbling in the room, including some folks saying under their breath that Graham should shut up when he was going back and forth with Judge Jackson, really on 2 separate issues. Again, on this issue of her sentencing for child pornographers, but also, as has been the theme of Graham's 2 rounds of questioning, kind of looking back at the historical treatment by Democrats of the last 2 Republican Supreme Court nominees. He seemed interested in, if not holding Judge Jackson accountable for that, of at least sort of rubbing it in Democrats' faces that they were again, and he could treat a Democratic nominee in a similar way. It was really Vices again bringing her to this moment, kind of reminding folks why we are where we are in this moment.
Yeah, and repeatedly going back after some Republicans suggesting that they were misrepresenting her positions and just keeping it cool. Thank you so much, Garrett Hake, who continues to report.
Are we on the right place?
Kristen Welker in Brussels. Kristen?
Thanks, Chris, so much. Appreciate it. That is it for me today. Hallie Jackson picks up our coverage next here on MSNBC.
And paid for by OpenShar Concepts. Attention firefighters, members of the military.
their kids looking for a property.
Nice.
Yeah, they're at like 40, 50 grand over asking price they're capable of.
Nice.
Yeah. Dynamite. Hey team, happy Tuesday. What is today? Wednesday? Happy Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Martin, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. We'll reach out there and shake your hand.
First and foremost here. Pleasure.
Yeah. All right, we'll get just a couple of minutes here and we'll get the game going today. We got Brian Icenhower, who led a great mastermind group yesterday. That guy's always bringing such great information to the party. Great information. All right, let me share some screen action. Let me find the presentation. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Bam, ba-da-dam, bam, bam. Okay, there we go. Team screen is shared, and got a very lengthy quote today, so I'm sure it means something, right? Give it another couple of minutes and let the crowd file in as they're clipping along. Right. Hey, there's Scott.
What's happening?
Hey.
Hey. Something beautiful. We got the team together. People are already online. Look at this.
Are jumping on? Yeah.
I think we had something going on today.
Something's always going on.
I know, right?
Only there's a day something isn't happening here.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. If there's one thing we're not short of, it's stuff to plug into, participate in. You know what? It's so funny. We have so much happening all the time. We are so active and so engaging. If you've never been at another company, you don't know what a desert it is out there.
I have a feeling.
It is unbelievable. Because I talk to agents for the companies all the time, and they're just almost dumbfounded at the fact that we have anything. We have a weekly team meeting, let alone a PC program and mastermind sessions and training on our software and scripts and dialogues. And, it's just.
Well, there's corporate training, there's local training.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, I even investigate stuff on my own stuff. So I'm like in the beginning, I was like
a little overwhelmed.
It was completely overwhelming. But once you start getting a handle of what you want to use, what you don't, what's working for you,
You figure it out.
Yeah.
I bet it's just an absolute. So they all they have when they're with another company is the stuff that they're out there doing by themselves.
So I discovered the RPA in the MLS that does the CMAs.
Oh, RPM.
RPM, I mean.
Yeah. RPA, that's right on the first year.
RPM.
All right, gang, let's get going here. Let's get the game on, and people will come in when they come in. I want to respect those that are here on time, and we've got that 5-minute buffer. But so the quote of the day, this is a quote from Steve Jobs: "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do." So if you're going to do something, do it, or don't do it. If you're not going to do it to the best of your ability, don't do it. And that's kind of what I think Jobs is reading into here. And do the things that you love. Now that comes with 2 strokes of a brush there. I think the first pass is do the things that are necessary to succeed in your whatever you're shooting for, whether it be real estate, right? Okay, you don't have to know all the scripts and dialogues. You don't have to be perfect. Just do it. Get out there, get it done. That's the first stroke. And then when you come back, you complete the canvas with that second coat. That's when you start to perfect it. So whereas Steve Jobs' position here in this statement is do what you do to the best of your ability. And if you do it, if you love what you're doing, you're going to win every time. Know that you don't have to be a masterful painter to start painting. Renoir wasn't a master when he started, but by the time he finished, because he did it over and over and over again, he became a master. And you can do the same in real estate. And it's the same thing with anything that you do. You want to throw ceramics, you want to, knit blankets or quilts or whatever you knit. What do you knit? Comforters? Afghans. All I'm saying is that with repetition comes perfection. or at least something close to. I don't believe there's a such thing as perfection, but you can get closer to hitting the mark every time. So love what you do. I think John Cook stated that, right? Love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. All right, that's Mr. Jobs for you and a little bit of Cook. I want to thank everybody who was able to join us. We had so much fun, and I know you don't have to hear me talk about it. I know that somebody put a video together with a comical ending. I don't think there's any sound to it, but the images of what we had going on were so much fun. And the people that came, we had food for 100 people roughly, and we were like right at the mark. So we had about 80 people come and go throughout the day. It was super fun. And Katrina, thanks for bringing all the sweet treats. Holy smokes, just a bit of a blast. And these are some of the images that we took. So if you missed it, don't miss it next year. You're gonna be bummed. It was so much fun. I didn't get a chance to see Kathy Tesori. I didn't know she was here. So thanks whoever put the video together. It was just here this morning when I pulled it up. All right, gang.
You turned that off pretty quick.
I think Bobby did it.
It just keeps wanting to go. Scott, congratulations, man. Your first listing. Woo! In the house. Scott Andrews with us today. And a great listing out in Napomo. Development opportunity. It's on the whiteboard.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about another place that you can feature stuff like that here at the end of the meeting today. But congratulations.
I think I saw it.
No, we have a private Facebook group that's just for agents. You can post stuff like that.
Nice.
And Andrew Gamboa, congratulations on your first listing. That's down in, it's a pretty good sized piece of property down in the New Cuyama area. So congratulations, Andrew. Love to see everything coming forward. Chris Cucchiera, our own Cooch. Christopher, congratulations. You're in 100%, man. Cat, way to go, Idaho. Got another month or so. So get some commissions closed and see some 100% money, baby. Congratulations, Chris. It's been a long time coming. I know you're here every morning hustling. So if there's anybody that deserves it, it's you. Yeah, he does. Congratulations, Escrow. I want to thank Connie, Diana, Veronica opened 2 or closed 2, and the Keenan Carter Group closed 1 last week. These are weekly numbers. Abel opened a couple. Thanks, Abel, Molly, Dawn, and Dick and Darlene, the entire Keenan Carter Group. Thanks for supporting your local escrow company. They were in here yesterday talking to new agents. They are just a phenomenal breath of fresh air when it comes to having somebody dedicated to you. And I haven't talked about it in a while. Remember, first responders, active retired military, and our teachers all get a 10% discount. Their fees are already way more competitive than anybody else. So now you've got that in addition to. So Central Coast Escrow, good people. They love your support, and congratulations all and everyone who's been there supporting and working with them. Okay, 52 points of culture. Why do you think there's one of the things that separates Keller Williams from any other company that I've ever been in? I've been in every real estate company from Westlake Village to Paso, current in Tulare County, all of them. And one thing that sets us apart is the culture that we create. And you see that in the things like St. Patrick's Day, but you also see it in things like working with one another, having conversations with agents that are out there. The point of, and it's no coincidence that there are 52 points of culture, because there are 52 weeks in a year. So we're going to talk about one every single week, and that's why we're bringing it up. And what I want to talk about is about disparaging other agents. It's number 9. Avoid disparaging remarks about anyone, especially agents that leave KW, because I know sometimes that can be a little bit of a zinger. It used to hurt me, like, but you know what? People sometimes don't know what they don't know. And I was talking before we got on the call here that, well, I guess when we just start talking about it, people just don't know everything that's here. This place, especially if this is the place you started, right? You don't know what's out there. You don't know what it's like out there. It's a desert of information. And I love people when they join Keller Williams. I love them more when they on the way out, because they're 9 times out of 10 going to come back. So sometimes you just need to see what's out there. I'll tell you this though: the water will always, the grass. You know, the statement, the grass will be greener. Grass is greener on the other side. The grass will always be greener where you water it.
Yep.
So stay where you're at. Water the grass. Plug into the tools, and you will grow. But no need to disparage anybody. My mother always told me, it was my grandmother actually, you got nothing nice to say about someone, don't say anything at all. Subsequently, I didn't talk about my teens and early 20s. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. All right, culture's important though. First Friday. Speaking of culture, First Friday coming up April 1st. That's in a couple of, not this Friday, but next Friday, I think. Blast and Brew, they've got great food. We can kind of take over. There's like a little corner table that's not little, it's huge. It'll fit 15 people. But they've got shuffleboard, which I'll be playing and challenge anyone to a shuffleboard match. There's cornhole, it's all inside, so it's weatherproof. There's no wind, there's no cold. It's just a lot of fun. So come on down if you're free. Happy hour 5 to 7, Blast and Brew in Pismo Beach, April 1st. Of course, it is a Friday. I've got something really cool to share with you guys, and I've asked Krista to do a little demo because she's gone through this KW Perks. How many of you, by a raise of hands in the just the chat box there, how many of you have heard of KW Perks? Jody, I hadn't even. There's so many KW things going on. KW Perks I didn't even know was a thing. Anyway, Keller Williams, because of the size and magnitude of who we are and our negotiating power, we have got an incredible opportunity for independent contractors to be part of a company-wide insurance plan, which is better than the insurance I had at Fidelity National Financial, which I thought was top of the line. This is less expensive and provides the same benefits. It's ridiculous. And it's ridiculous how easy it is to get to all this stuff. Krista, you want to take the screen and show them how to get to the portal and how easy it is to get health insurance? And it's health insurance, it's dental insurance.
Hey, Jay, can you stop sharing your screen so I can share mine?
Yeah, happy to.
Thank you. Okay, folks, can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, this is super easy. I'm just going to give you a little 5-minute tutorial. The website is kwperks.com. It's that easy. When you go onto this website, this is the homepage that you're going to see right here. It's going to tell you all about it. Okay. It's going to tell you all about it. I've already pre-entered my info, except for I fibbed a little bit. And instead of making my birthday year, actually how old I am, I cut it back by about 20 years and made myself 30 today. So
average the age of an agent working in the company.
Yeah, so I made it the average age because I wanted everybody to get a good idea of what it would cost just for a 30-year-old single person. And I made it with no kids. So, I mean, you guys can play with this. This tutorial is so fast and so easy. So you just push calculate and it comes up with some choices. It will give you the 10,000 plan, which is the annual deductible, the 5,000 plan, and the 2,500 plan. And look at how cheap this is. This is not per paycheck for people that are used to getting paychecks twice a month. This is per month, $365 for a 30-year-old. No physical, you just punch in your birth date and you go from there. And this includes vision insurance. So this is medical and vision, okay? And all you got to do to get started is create an account, create your username, your password, and it does require you to put your market center in. So you'd want to put market center 340 because the only people that can access this are Keller Williams agents or admin that are working here, or even staff. And we'll talk about the staff later. Right now, we're looking at this business plan 1099, and this is for independent contractors. And one of the coolest things on this is, I don't know if you know, but when you join companies, sometimes you don't get to jump on their insurance until enrollment date, which is always October of the year. So you have to wait. As soon as you do this, you enroll by 4/15 and you're covered right here, May 1st. So if you want to go get new glasses, that's it. You get vision, May 1st, you can jump on that and get that in 6 weeks. If you want to do dental only, okay, dental only, I've clicked here, $18 for preventative, and for the really great premium with Delta Dental, which is a great company, $47. And I'm not doing this because I'm a salesperson and I do not work for this company, Capstone Financial. I'm doing it because what a great thing to offer incoming agents and to retain the agents we have is you have the opportunity to have medical, dental, vision, voluntary benefits, health savings accounts where you put money away every month to go to your health benefits, which by the way, rolls over year after year. If you don't use it by December 31, you don't lose it. You get to keep it. Anyway, so that's dental. There's also, oh, and I'm going to show you a little bit about dental. This is just basically some of their plans: employee, employee spouse, employee children, family. This is for dental only if you don't want the medical. Okay, so if you just want dental and you already have medical all set, you can jump on the bandwagon and get it dental. You can also do the same thing with vision. If you already have medical and dental, say through a spouse, or you already have your own set up, you can jump on here and you can get vision for $10 a month. And like I said, it starts May 1st. You can get new glasses come May 1st with just paying this almost $11, vision only. No strings attached. You just have to belong to a KW Market Center. What's also kind of cool is you can get benefits here for short-term and long-term disability. And look at this, it starts at $60.10 a month. So I'm just saying, I did some research into this, and it's a really great plan. It's got everything has 3 choices. Delta Dental is a great dentist. And with the vision, I don't know if you're familiar with this company, Avisis, but I guess it's like 5 stars. So but that's what I got on that. Does anybody have any questions?
So easy to get to.
Oh, but that's awesome.
Yeah, and exclusive to Keller Williams agents. So if you're on the call and you have brethren that didn't make the call today, let them know that there's now an insurance, a company-sponsored insurance program that they can plug into it, and it'll save them a boatload of money and get great coverage.
And real quick, Jay, I'm just going to show them one last option through this. There's an option that this is for independent agents. If you are, say, a team leader like Jay, and you want your staff to also benefit from this, okay, you would go to the healthy employees and healthy business section, okay? And it's located just on this main page. Click here if you're a W-2 employee or you have staff. And I'm thinking of teams. For instance, if you are leading a team and you actually have W-2 employees, all you do is click on Get Started, okay? It takes you to this page, and then you just go and you fill out your info. Again, you fill out your market center because it's only for KW, and then you fill out how many employees you have, if they're 1099, if they're W-2, and if they're part-time. You click next, and someone will come on and they'll call you and talk to you about it. But what I understand when I watched the video from Jason Abrams, I guess these rates are even just as great. So if you're a large team of 9, 10, 11 people in your team, and we have a few of those here, we have 5 groups that are over 9 team members, you can offer health insurance to your team members, whether they're licensed or not. Even if they're admin, whether they're W-2 or 1099, you qualify.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that is amazing. So, all right, that's all I got.
Cool. Krista, thank you so much for that. That's, I mean, what a difference a company makes, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome.
Yeah, she drops the mic. Thank you. You're welcome. That was a mic drop. All right, cool, guys. That's some awesome stuff. All right, let's talk. Let's make sure I'm just gonna skip a slide there. All right, mortgage folks, look at that across the screen. Don, Ron, Martin, what's happening? Tell us what's happening in mortgage world.
Well, hello. Dawn's not with us today, but
Okay.
Martin and myself are. I'm going to talk a little bit about rates, and then Martin's going to take a topic. So quick overview of rates. They continue to go up. Let's see, I've got some numbers here. Conventional conforming interest rates still in the 4s. That's the good news. 4.625, just a smidge over 4.5% on conforming interest rate or conforming amount interest rates. FHA and VA government loans are still lower. That's nice, 4.125. So still maintaining a good spot in the rate spectrum for those government loans. Jumbo loans, which I see you guys do a lot of in Pismo, looking at 5.0%. Now, as we know, these are Interest rates change, vary. Borrowers may have various attributes that would cause their interest rate to be a little higher, but these are right now available rates out there in the marketplace. And Dawn and Martin and myself are happy to work with your buyers to get them the very best rate possible.
All right, 4s, man. Holy crap, we're creeping up on 5. That's crazy. Thinking just last year we were in the 2s.
Still way less than when I started.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. All right, thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Ron. Martin, what do you got for us today?
Hey there. Oh, thank you so much. And Ron, thank you. Jay, pleasure. Good afternoon, everybody. Had a quick topic for everybody today. Interestingly enough, had a phone call from a KW realtor the other day asking me to pre-qualify one of her clients. So this client had already been pre-approved, had letter in hand stating that they were qualified for the purchase that they were trying to make or the offer that they were trying to make. And interestingly enough, the agent had the wherewithal to ask that lender, had everything been verified, credit, income, everything. And interestingly enough, they said, no, it was all done verbally, which is just mind-blowing to me. So I'm bringing this up for the mere fact that after speaking with this client, found out that the guy's self-employed, incorporated, using his down payment from all business assets, which can become a challenge sometimes. But interestingly enough, too, already owns a home, was not going to sell it, was using monies from his business account for the down payment. So he was going to retain his existing residence, and his company, his corporation, was going to rent the property. Okay, that's great. He's got income from his company to pay for his rental, but now I've got to attribute the $3,000 a month for rent as a business expense, which is now going to further deplete some of the income that we had from the corporation. And interestingly enough, I have to take 100% of that expense into consideration when I can only attribute 75% of the rental income to the rental side of the property, and then subtracting out the mortgage payments and taxes and insurances. Any event, long story short, very, very important. I cannot stress enough the importance of using a lender of your choice who you know and who you trust and who is accountable to you, and to be able to know that we're going to ask the right questions, get the right documentation, and make sure that the client actually is or can qualify for the loan that they've been pre-approved for prior. So if you're if you're working with a client who has already been pre-approved by somebody you're not familiar with, you don't know, you don't trust, or not aware of, and has certainly no accountability to you, please ask the questions. Have you verified anything? Income, assets, credit, where are the assets coming from? Are there any issues here that we have to contend with? Please don't just accept a letter from somebody stating they've been pre-approved, unless, of course, it's from Don, Ron, or myself, because you know that we've already taken care of all the due diligence in being able to verify everything that we needed to substantially verify all of their information to provide you with that pre-approval letter. So I just wanted to throw that out there to let you guys know that we do go through the diligence of being able to do everything that we're supposed to do and being able to verify your clients' qualifications so we can best represent them to you and their prospective sellers. So I hope that helps. Give us a call. Let us have the opportunity of working with you guys, and we're here to help in any way that we can. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Ron. What a nightmare. Could you imagine working with somebody for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, finally get them, find a property that they love, and then find out that they chose a lender that you don't know, that's not Don, Martin, or Ron, and there's no way they're going to qualify for the property that you just got them into escrow for. Ridiculous. Anyway, we're glad and honored to have you guys here. Thank you, Ron. Thanks, Don, for being here. Or not Don, but Ron and Martin. Thank you.
Yeah.
See you guys. All right, Troy, CB, we got contracts class tomorrow at 1. Anything you want to bring to the table today for us?
You talk about the TOPA? Yeah, just make sure that in this market, I know you guys are going to be finding that you're representing a lot of landlords maybe that are trying to capitalize. Maybe they're upgrading, they're doing a 1031 exchange and upgrading to another investment property or whatever, but they're selling a rental property. Make sure that when you are showing property that is tenant occupied, that you check the box, and it's a new form. It's called the TOPA, or Tenant Occupied Property Addendum. And just make sure that you check that box because it'll stipulate a lot of the things that we've got agents trying to write into the contracts on when the tenant will be out and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to kind of cover that. The TOPA will auto-populate to the to your contract when you check the box if it's tenant occupied. Okay, it does not mean that you are that you want the tenant to stay or that you want the tenant to go. You're able to stipulate on the TOPA how you want the tenant handled. And in the transaction, if you've got an investor buyer that wants the tenant to stay, then that's fine too. But it doesn't just mean one or the other. Some people are like, well, I don't want the TOPA because we don't want the tenant. We're going to own or occupy it. That's fine. You still need the TOPA. Okay. So anyway, I just want to clarify on that. And, and those of you who are listing investment properties, do your best to go by and meet the tenants. By the way, I found that this has the best results when dealing with properties that tenants are most likely going to be removed from. Obviously, if it's a fourplex or something like that, apartment complex, then that's not going to happen. But if it's a single family residence with a tenant in it and the tenant's going to be asked to leave, if it's an owner occupied, it's going to be a 30-day notice. But you'll just want to explain these things to them, how the process is going to work, how you're going to show it, and work with them. I've got a client right now that the tenant is a day sleeper. She's a nurse that works all night. And so she asked to have appointments at 4 o'clock, between 4 and 6 o'clock. So I just let people know, hey, listen, we're not doing any showings outside of 4 to 6. I'm not going to try and force the issue and say, no, we get the right to come in with a 24-hour notice or anything like that. Also, if you're listing a property that is tenant occupied, there is a form that you'll want to leave with them once you've met them. A form that you leave with the tenant that says that you can just do a phone call and they don't have to be notified in writing every time, that you've agreed with them that they can that just a phone call or a text message when you're going to be showing the property. Okay, so that's another good form that you'll want to look for. Do you remember what that was called? I'm trying to remember the name of that form, but anyway, I'll get it for you. But it's a very good form to use when you have tenant occupied properties, so that you don't have to have the property management company serve them notice every time you want to show it. All right. And CB's teaching the residential listing agreement tomorrow, guys. That's going to be funny and insightful.
Right. Okay, we'll look forward to seeing CB. And don't forget the TOPA. There's tenants in the property. All right, CB, we'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, 1 o'clock, over the residential listing agreement. I know. All right, gang. Greg, what do we got up for education? Ron Icenhower speaking for us today. He should be here momentarily. What do we got coming up Tuesdays?
Well, actually, today we have shortly at 1:30, right after this, we have KW Command all about contacts. And we're going to go over how to input a contact into your command and give you an explanation of what the fields are all, what fields are required when inputting a contact. And that's today at 1:30 via Zoom. And then we continue our journey with Command. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, I will be going over how to lead generate on Command. And there's simple steps you need to do every single day so you make sure that we are touching the right people and communicating with them. So that's going to be Thursday at 10 o'clock. And then at 1 o'clock, we have CB going over the listing agreement. And if you have any questions or any concerns regarding the listing agreement, please bring them with you Thursday at 1 o'clock. And Friday morning, continuing with our journey on Command, we have the My Referral Network, and I will be going over how to refer your clients to other agents in Keller Williams and be able to track the life of the transaction. And that's at 10 o'clock on Friday morning. And then at 12 o'clock, from 12 to 2, for 2 hours, we'll be doing the new to KW and giving you all the information regarding KW and what we have to offer you. Then we have Monday morning, 6 ways to secure the gap between contracts and close, and that's at 10 o'clock. And then at 1 o'clock on Monday, Candace will be going over how to set up your DTD4 on Command and on Facebook. So you're able to interact with your clients by just following the last letter of their last name. Of the letter of their last name, sorry. And you're able to contact with for a week. So it will be 2 letters that you're calling, 1 letter that you're texting, and 1 letter that you're private messaging on Facebook, and how you're able to keep track of that every single week for the remainder of the year. And that is Monday at 1 o'clock. Again, setting it up on command and setting it up on your Facebook page. And then we continue our scripts practice at 9 o'clock on Tuesday. And scripts at 9 o'clock, bring the script you'd like to use, or I will share any scripts that you need so that you're able to go through them and practice them with other agents in our market centers. And then at 1 o'clock, our topic for our agent mastermind next Tuesday will be top producing agent mindset strategies. And that's with Brian Icenhower at 1 o'clock. And I think that's all we have going on so far. Oh no. And then on Wednesday morning, we have the rookies who changed the game. Adam Bello and Blake Hagg will be going over what they did their first year in real estate. This morning, if you missed it, there will be a recording. It shows up, I think, in like 2 more days on KW Connect. They'll be going over how the agent had planned on only doing 11 transactions her first year and ended up closing 48 transactions on her first year. Military full-time from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So again, these are great. The rookies who changed the game. 10 o'clock every single Wednesday. And then we're back on our team meeting here. And then next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, if you want to learn more about how to be part of a very selected community, to be part of the House of Excellence, I will be introducing that to you, KW Luxury, and that's at 1 o'clock on Wednesday.
Cool. All right, Greg. You're the man. Thank you for putting all this stuff together. I mean, the education, we're a training technology company, and without you, the training can be a little more difficult.
Thank you so much.
Mega Camp. You've been to Mega Camp a bunch of times. You used to live in Austin, didn't you, Greg?
San Antonio, but yes, have been to Mega Camp, and it is a must attend. I can't imagine not attending Mega Camp. You walk out with so many nuggets to be able to use in your business. And the best part about it is you're interacting with other agents. And sometimes you're just realizing that things that you thought, wow, that's just too simple, that won't work for me, are the things that really get them, whether it be on stage or at Mega Camp, being able to talk about their stories. So Mega Camp has a lot of different scenarios that they'll be going over. And it's a 2-day session that they're hosting in Austin, Texas. And tickets are available right now for you to be able to purchase.
It really is. It's probably one of the single best events I go to all year
Absolutely.
At Callaway's put on. Imagine having a person that has like broken all records within sales in their community. They're not only in their community, but for Keller Williams with a group of 180,000 agents, just telling you how they did it. And I can't explain it any way other than that. They are on stage saying, this is how I did it. If you do it, you can have this. It's ridiculous, but super cool and super transparent. No hidden agenda. The curtain. It's like pulling the veil behind the curtain to see that the wizard is actually telling you how he's making the tricks work. So
absolutely.
Yes. We can talk about that. There's a bunch. There's a bunch. All right, Brian, are you with us?
He's right there.
I am here.
There you go.
Hey guys.
Welcome. Thanks for coming back. I realized that you were here yesterday, Tuesday, with all the groups, but everything you bring to the party is so insightful. We're super stoked to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Good to be here as well, too. One thing I did want to get you guys up to speed on, I'm actually getting one thing ready for you right here. As what we got worked out for you, kind of as a special privilege, if you will, for being associated with the Market Center. As you know, I own and operate Icenhower Coaching and Consulting, and we're one of the larger real estate coaching companies in the country. And we have an annual convention. And last year we had it in October, and it was in Morro Bay, California. So a lot of you came, and I love that. And we're going to keep doing that once a year. We're moving it around, and we opened it up last year to all you guys, so you could come for free with no registration. And I'm going to do the same thing for you this year too. except you got to travel a little bit. But I think, so that's the downfall. You got to travel. The good side is you get to go to a cool place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you where it is. And so everybody with the office, all you got to do is register and use our client code that I'm going to give you. But it's in the Florida Keys in Isla Mirada. This is true for you, Jay. This is this is a work-related expense.
Absolutely.
That's correct. So yeah, we need you actually. You must be there. It is a requirement.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah, this is me hovering above the Florida Keys, apparently. But basically, it's an Isla Mirada. You fly into Miami. We shuttle you about an hour south. There's a little video here you can watch. Look who's here. Look at they should be on the cover of everything. By the way, there is nothing that these two should not be on the cover of. It is hilarious to me. They are the poster children of the world. So I love it. But anyway, I'm going to share this with you too. Here's our, it's going to be a lot of different masterminds on different topics, very similar to the summit. We just have a lot more people coming to this one too. It's at the Islander Resort as well too. We're going to have our excursions are going to be daily. So we're going to work every morning till about 1 o'clock. And then after 1 o'clock, the whole group's going snorkeling one day. Every day they're going to be taking offshore fishing boats out, fishing for mahi in peak season, the peak location of the world. So pretty crazy. Beach hikes. It's on, or you can just hang out on the white sandy beaches every afternoon that has an open cocktail bar and all that kind of stuff. So basically every afternoon is fun in the sun. Pick your excursion every day. And we're going to be working every single morning. So that's the idea. So if you can make it, please do. It's a great way to get a tax deductible vacation, if nothing else. So I'm going to go ahead and save this for you. I will drop that link to register into the chat room. If you want, it's in 2 months. It's in May, mid-May. And I just dropped that link in there. And then you're just going to enter into the client, the registration code, just like last year. If you put me in charge of things, they end up this simple and easy to hack. Just type in the word client in all caps, and you will get a free registration. Please do not give that out to people. Keep that inside of our little group here. So if you want to go, I'd love to have you. That's just for being with the office. We'd love to see you come. It's going to be just an absolute blast. I think we got about 400 people signed up already. And we're expecting to have somewhere around 750. I think we had about 500 or so at the summit, if I remember correctly, in Morro Bay. So we'd love to have you there. Now, with that said, I'm going to share another link. And this is to a 60 Minutes video that I hope that's kind of got the whole industry abuzz. That when you get done, it's about 15 minutes. So after we're done here, I want you to watch it. It came out this last Sunday on 60 Minutes, and it just shook up the real estate industry. I posted it in my Facebook group yesterday, I think. And that's the Real Estate Agent Roundtable. If you are not a part of that Facebook group, you're crazy. You get to be a part of it. It's really cool. Get a lot of free good content that'll help you be better at things. And I did post in there as well too, and it kind of talks about what's happening in the housing market and why things are exploding and why they're expected to continue to explode, especially on the East Coast, West Coast, and across the Southern Sun Belt. And we're in one of those areas. And it's talking about how rents are just going to go through the roof and how they've gone through the roof. Talks about how housing supply has been horrible, that causes price to go up, and housing supply is getting worse. It's basically talking about everything that we've been talking about. Now, so I want to put that in there so you guys all please watch this, because if you don't watch it, your clients are watching it. Yeah, the link I put up at first didn't work, but it does work now. So I fixed it in about 30 minutes. So Lisa, you just saw it right away. You were Johnny on the spot, but I did fix it. So it is up and running. And the link I just sent you is a YouTube link. So that link in the chat room will work as well too. but thank you for that. So check it out, because all your clients did watch it. And it is getting spread around a lot. So it's real important you kind of understand. And I will tell you this, I was talking with Albert about it last night. The rent amounts are even lower than I mean, they're very conservative when they talk about rents in Florida going up 20%. That's astronomically low. They've been going up much faster than that. They talk about some states where rents have been kind of holding steady, and that's just crazy. I mean, I know those areas. I own property in some of those areas, and those rents have gone up 20, 30%. So the numbers they actually use are actually extremely conservative with regards to the rent rates. But what's really fascinating is how what you've heard me talk about smart money and dumb money. Well, this is the first time you actually see smart money at work. They talk about how these large investment firms, real estate investment trusts, hedge funds are just acquiring massive amounts of property, and they're winning out over first-time home buyers. And they're just holding it and renting them out because they know rents are going up so high. So people are always asking, well, what's going to happen to buyer demand? What's going to happen to buyer demand as houses get more affordable? No one cares. I don't know what to tell you. No one cares about, I mean, just, they make great tenants too. That's my dad's old quote. Housing affordability is just not a real concern. Like, you have to have a house. You're either going to buy it or you're going to be someone's tenant. The person you're competing against are these big companies on 60 Minutes. And they want you to be their tenant. So the fact that, you guys got to understand, I know you think it's terrible, but most of you haven't been in the business more than 10, 15 years. If you go back 20 years, housing affordability was at 50% in America. Means 50% of Americans owned a home. If you go back 35, 40 years, you were down like below 40. They used to call it the American dream because it really was a dream. If you could buy a house and not be a tenant, it was a big deal. Well, lately it's gotten up to 75%. Now it's back down to 65. And which way is it headed? Down, down. And if you watch this video, you'll know why. Where should it be? I don't know. I don't really have a dog in that fight. I don't think my say matters. I don't really know where it's supposed to be, but I know where supply and demand is. And that tells me price is going up tremendously. But now there's a new X factor. So watch the video. I'm not going to go into that because I know a lot of you have already. If you haven't, you need to stay up on your industry, guys. So you should have seen it already. And if you're not in my Facebook group, then shame on you. You got to kind of be ahead of your clients. If your clients are ahead of you, you're going to be the guy defending your commission because they don't really need you for much other than access into houses. They need you for your expertise. I'm kind of preaching to the choir because you guys on here listening, but you have to be up on things, especially right now. But now there's a new little hitch in everything to make people think, oh, well, maybe things are going to turn around. Right? Interest rates.
I was waiting for that.
Interest rates. Oh, this is going to change everything. It's hilarious. Oh yeah. Well, now, yeah, we'll see if prices don't keep interest rates. Freaking rookies. Guys. Interest rates don't make prices go down. They make them go up. And if you haven't watched the video, you may not be aware of this because you haven't done your homework. You came to class, we got a test today, and you guys haven't watched the video. You're not up to speed. These guys aren't using loans. They're buying them cash. Do you think hedge funds and REITs finance? They are the financier. They're the lender. Interest rates don't hurt them. It helps them. It just takes you, the homeowner, out because you need loans. You're dumb money. Go back and fight fires and teach class to elementary school kids. This isn't for you. You're tenants. Go back to being tenants. There was a time when firemen could never afford to buy a home. Welcome to 2022. Make sense? We got police officers living in McMansions We'll see if it holds up.
Lucky them if they got in.
If they got in, right. That was the time. And if they're waiting right now, well, I wouldn't be waiting. So you got to get your head around this, guys. You have to see what's happening because these guys aren't. Now, I got a few things to say about interest rates because I want you guys to understand them. We do not know that mortgage rates are going to go up. I want to say that first of all. There's a good chance they will, but there's also a good chance they won't. Okay? Yes, I understand that the Federal Reserve Chairman Powell came out, and if you don't know this, I mean, we have got to plug in, guys. Turn on CNBC and watch it every now and then. Please. Okay? Or if, I don't care, Fox News, business news, please. I don't really care about your political plugins, but I do need you to understand business because you are a business advisor to some extent in real estate. And the Federal Reserve Chairman Powell came out and said, we are going to systematically increase rates for the next year. He did not say he was going to increase the mortgage rate because he doesn't have the power to increase the mortgage rate. Human beings are not supposed to control the mortgage rate. He increases the federal discount rate, the federal funds rate, the rates the banks lend to each other. Now, historically, the mortgage rate tends to follow it most of the time. So when the economy gets booming, like it's been booming for a very long time, it's been booming for about 15 years straight. Quite frankly, just been going up, up, up. Prices been going up straight. Dow Jones been going up straight. Everything's been going up straight. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or what. You claimed it was you that did it. Obama did it. Trump did it. Now Biden's doing it. I don't care where your party is. Trust me, your party had nothing to do with why our economy is going up because it's been going up like a straight line like this. I don't care. The elections had nothing to do with it, and they never do. Taxes had nothing to do with it because it's just a straight line. So I'm sorry if you disagree with that. You are wrong, guys. And you are so wrong that we have so much inflation build up because no one's raised any rates to stop it until now. Because usually back in the old days, if anybody remembers the economy of the early 90s and late 80s, we had guys like Alan Greenspan, and they used to argue with the president. And they would stop a good economy with interest rates. And the president would get mad. Why are you stopping my good economy? I'll never get elected. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. Now they get drunk on the punch and they just don't want to raise rates because that way we keep people in office. So what did we learn how to do? So in a nutshell, we learned how, I think it was about 2008, that we could keep mortgage rates low artificially for the first time ever. See, mortgage rates are tied to an open market algorithm that's not supposed to be controlled by man. It's supposed to be a natural hedge against inflation. Okay? And it's based upon, there's a lot of factors involved, but it's based upon the sale of the 10-year Treasury bond. Okay? The 10-year Treasury bond, or a T-bill is what they call it, is a safe haven. When things get scary in the economy, people buy T-bills. Okay? So that triggers interest rates going up and down. I'm just going to leave it that way. Okay? Now, the government found a way to manually, artificially do this. What they said is, we're going to go buy our own T-bills. We can buy our own mortgage-backed securities too. So the federal government can use dollars that the federal government prints to buy back its own T-bills to keep rates low. To manually and artificially keep rates low.
It's called quantified easing, if anybody's looking for the phrase, right? Quantified easing.
That's right. That's right.
And inflation will ensue if you've got three quarters of consecutive quantified easing.
Right.
We've had 16 quarters of quantified easing from 2008 on.
In
And
other
we
words,
have,
we've always got an excuse that we need to keep mortgage rates low. Always. And the real excuse is I want to get reelected because everybody will make a lot of money and say it's a good economy. But they try to find some other excuse, right? Like pandemic. Economy is going to get bad. We'll keep them low. Or Russia. We'll keep them low. They just used that one about 3 weeks ago. A lot of people were accusing the war of being because of mortgage interest rates. I mean, I think that's a stretch, but you get it, right? I'm going to be the first to tell you this, but there is an excuse that's coming down the pipe, and 60 Minutes just said it. If we don't keep mortgage rates low, no one's going to be able to afford a house. Oh, right? There's your next excuse. We started quantitative easing because we were actually coming out of a valid recession. Didn't want to go back into recession. But then we just kept finding excuse after excuse after excuse. Trump gets elected. He's totally anti-spending because he's a Republican. He says, I'm going to cut this. And he didn't really get around to it, And then he fired the Federal Reserve chairman who almost did. And because he was going to reduce it. And then the pandemic came. Nope, let's keep buying back those securities. Nope, we got to do it now. And then now we've got a new president, Biden. Biden hasn't gotten around to it. But now all of a sudden it sounds like Honest Engine. We're going to start doing it. I don't buy it, but we'll see. So understand there's a good chance we find another excuse to manually keep rates down. That's number one. Understand the federal funds rate and the federal discount rate are not mortgage rates. So don't be those agents that run around sounding ignorant, talking to your client, saying that the feds are increasing mortgage rates. That is incorrect. I am tired of hearing that on social media. They're going to raise the rates. Better buy your house now. Just be careful. People that have knowledge about this realize you don't understand what you're talking about. Okay? Because the feds don't raise mortgage rates. And there is a chance that they don't follow. I'm going to tell you what happens if they do go up, because I do think there's a good chance they go up too for the first time. Although people have been saying this for 20 years. I get tired of telling people to buy now because rates are going to go up because it just never seems like they do. And Martin, you are 100% correct, man. We are going back to a normal new interest rate world if they do go up. But let's talk about that means for prices in the market, okay? So I want to give you a little bit of a repeat here, first of all. Hopefully you guys watched that video. Did I sell that video? I have no stake in 60 Minutes. I do think it's an excellent show. That and Jeopardy. I like both of those two. Okay, so but I really think you should watch that 50 minutes or 60 minutes. Excuse me, 15 minutes of 60 Minutes is what it is.
Brian, that was the YouTube video that you shared.
That's the YouTube video I shared. Just a little 15-minute clip from the middle of the 60 Minutes episode.
Perfect.
Okay, you've seen this before, but I got to start with this again, okay? So this talks about housing prices over the years and goes all the way back to 1955. And it just talks about how prices have gone up. And, they steadily went up about 4% a year until we hit the 80s. Once we got past the early 80s, all of a sudden you saw prices start to jump at a higher clip, right? Up into 1990, things moved a lot up there. 90s were kind of about, continued on the same. And we just kept going up. And then we hit that little recession that we call the Great Recession, where it took a few years to recover from that, maybe like 4 or 5 years, totally recover. And then it's just been up on the same line. You notice there's one just straight line here. Real estate's very steady. It's not an up and down deal. A lot of people just remember this, and if you just remember this, you think real estate goes up and down. But when you look at it from the grand totality of things, real estate doesn't just go up and down. It's pretty much a straight line up. We just had one little dip in through here. Okay. And this goes all the way back to the Great Depression. And that was the last dip we saw. The last time that, real estate prices went down for more than a year. Like usually when real estate goes down, it comes right back. I mean, this is the normal. And this was like in 2020, and we barely even, this is the the pandemic, like when it first came out and no one could buy a house, everybody had to stay inside their home for like 45 days or something like that. They're so quick, we forget they even occur. Otherwise, it's about every 100 years we get one of these. And even then, it only, if you can stay in your house for a few years, weather the storm, then come out of your storm shelter, we're good to go. Okay. So you notice what happened there. Okay. Now, by contrast, if rates were to go up, let me show you what happens. Let's overlay this. This is the average 30-year mortgage rate. I started in 71. Look at the 80s. Remember I showed you how the prices spiked up in the 80s? I mean, if you were in the 80s, if any of you guys were in the 80s and of age and know what was going on, I mean, that was Miami Vice, Tom Selleck in a Ferrari, Crockett and Tubbs, people doing cocaine all over the place, like on the McDonald's counters. Like it was the time of excess. Like people had so much money, prosperity was out of control, rates were super high, trying to slow down this inflationary economy. Like it was a wealthy time. That's what happens when you have high interest rates. Inflation gets crazy. And we're talking like look at these percentages down here. 8%. The 80s never saw 8%. The average rate in the 80s was probably somewhere around, 12, 13% fixed, 30 years amortized. You see that? Yet, remember what happened to prices in the 80s? They skyrocketed, despite the fact rates were so high. In fact, if you stop in like 2001, we dropped rates because of 9/11. Otherwise, the average rate was somewhere probably around 8.59% over the previous 40 years. Housing prices went up the whole time. High interest rates did not stop or somehow negate people's need for shelter. It's a necessity item. They're going to buy milk whether it's expensive or not. So understand, don't think that high rates are going to somehow decrease prices. That has never happened. In fact, quite the opposite, mon frere. Let's look at it. Let's look at it on a short-term basis. Check this one out. Rising rates actually make home prices go up. Historically, increasing interest rates do not cause a decrease in buyer demand, quite the opposite. So look, if rates in 71 through 74 started at 7.3 and went up to 10%, home prices went up 18% that year. In 77 to 1980, this is why this was during the Jimmy Carter years, inflation went nuts. Rates jumped from 8.7 to 16.3, almost doubled in 3 years because home prices went up 52%. Now that's inflation, ladies and gentlemen. The late 70s that gave way to the 80s. And then it didn't stop, right? They took rates on average from 12.2 to 18.4, jumped another 7.4%. Again, rates started in 83 at 12.7. Ended 14.7, prices kept going up. All through the 80s, this trend. Same thing after 9/11, dropped rates. Rates ended up coming back up to 6.8% by 2006, the peak of the housing market. Prices jumped 38.5% during that price increase. All trying to slow down an economy a little, never succeeding. They may have slowed down the economy, but they couldn't slow down home prices. Make sense? So mortgage rates don't stop the fact that you need to buy a house. It's always going to be the smarter play over renting. So number one, for your confidence in the market, understand that these investors that are making up 30% of the home purchases in the United States of America aren't using cash. They're big investors. everywhere, everywhere. Whether it's short-term vacation rentals as Airbnbs, whether it's long-term rentals in lower priced areas, they're not financing. So the rates don't matter. If we are going to compete against people that are financing, there's a good chance rates don't go up, like we talked about. But even if they do, that tends to cause prices to go up even further. Now you know why all the smart money, which are people that do this for a living, that buy real estate for a living, is so bullish on buying real estate. Because there are very few scenarios that cause prices to go down. If that makes sense. Okay, and by the way, I do thank you, Michelle, for asking for those images. I need to share all those with you. So all three of those that I showed you, I'm dropping in the chat room. If you are on a desktop, you will be able to access those. If you are on a video conference from a phone, my heart weeps for you because you could never get things we put in the chat room.
Well, and Brian, we know that you're a coach. You're not a candy salesman, so we're never going to get anything sweet. We're going to get the real.
What are you saying?
We're going to get the real. You're like apple cider vinegar on a wound. But I promise you this: that wound will not get infected. And that's what Brian's trying to keep from happening right now, is your brain by getting infected by information that is false. If you're not the economist of choice for your clients, guess what? They're going to go find one that will be and is in the know. So Brian, I really appreciate your candor. Really appreciate that you're giving us the real and you're taking the sugar out of it so that we know exactly how to ingest the information that's going to give us the greatest opportunity to become the economist of choice for our clients. Because like you said, if we're not that, what are we?
I should take Jay around with me everywhere. He polishes me off so nicely. I think it's great.
Right, Brian. Does anybody have any questions for Brian? I mean, you gave us a lot of information to digest, and thanks for putting the images there. I'm going to grab them and hang on to them because I use them all the time when I'm talking to agents that aren't with Keller Williams, because they don't get this type of intellect and conversation. We don't have the conversation. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. There's a real desert of intellect being shared amongst real estate professionals at other companies, and I'm looking to make the industry better all the way around. So, Brian, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you wanted to share before
I'll let you be? Thank you, guys. I appreciate it once again. I'll see you soon. See you next Tuesday. Every single
Brian.
Tuesday for more.
Tuesday, yes. Right on. Okay, thanks, Brian.
You bet, guys.
All right, let me get to the
That slide with the rising rates and rising home prices was.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, the amount, everything that's happening in today's world is just muted by the reality of what home prices are, what they're going to do, and what they're going to continue to do for the foreseeable future. All right, needs and wants. Shannon, poke your head in here. Did you want to share something with us, Shannon?
Yes, I do. I got 2 new listings launching today or tomorrow. We have
19 City of Napomo. No,
what? That is Napomo, yes. Yes, it is. It's 1916 Vista del Pueblo.
I know we ran a little over today, but I'm so grateful that Brian came at us with the intel that he had and shared all his information. With that, I'll let you guys make the best of the rest of your day, and namaste. It is a pleasure to be with you guys. Have an incredible day.
Massive applause.
Massive applause.
That's what I say when I'm playing sax. I got to prepare. This is ocean.